from his wealth while he was still healthy and alive. And Imam al-Mundhiri rahimahullah says some of the scholars say that the deeds of a human being indeed end with his death. However, since he had caused these things, the rewards continue to reach him as long as they continue to exist. Why? Because Allah says in His mercy that He will not neglect an atom's weight of deeds. And since these are still the effect of his deeds, Allah records these contributions for a person even after his death. And how many of those deeds that benefit people cause them to make dua for those who made it possible for them, even if they don't know their names? Think about how many of us who made tawbah in their lives now or refocused on Allah are actually the sadaqah jariyah of the people of Gaza. What's it like when a person in the grave from Gaza who was killed by an American bomb receives a dua on the other side and says, "Who is that from?" And the angels say it's actually from an American named John or Jessica that converted to Islam because of you. Our worlds are connected. Du'as and deeds flow through. And the transmission of news, while sometimes a bit fuzzy, doesn't mean that we're not deeply impacting one another across that barrier. When you're making dua, you are invoking Rabb al-Alameen, the Lord of all the worlds. So your dua isn't limited in impact to this world. It can change someone else's world in the barzakh. And how deep is that impact? Al-Abbas ibn Yaqub narrates that one of the righteous saw his father in a dream. And he said, "Oh my son, why have you stopped sending your gifts to us?" So he replied, "Oh my father, do the dead recognize the gifts of the living?" And he said, "Ya bunayya, lawla al-ahya, halakat al-amwat." Oh my son, if it were not for the living, the dead would perish. SubhanAllah, what a powerful sentence. Sufyan ibn Uyayna rahimahullah said, it used to be said, "Al-amwat ahwaju ila du'a min al-ahya ila ta'am," that the dead are in more need of du'a than the living are of food. And if that's the case, how often do you make du'a for your parents or your loved ones? Once a day? Once a week? Once a year? Just like it may only seem like we increase our du'as in Ramadan, it may feel like that on the other side too. What does a du'a drought look like in the barzakh? And how much impact does your dua really have for someone in that world? There's a narration that states that the dua is the weapon of the believer. And we often think about it exclusively in this dunya. But what if your dua could be a weapon for the people in their graves? What if it's a shield that's given to someone just when the punishment is about to reach them? Ahmed ibn Yahya rahimahullah says that one of my companions said to me, "My brother died. And then I saw him in a dream where I asked him, 'In what condition were you in the moment that we placed you in your grave?' And he said to me, 'Someone came to me carrying a torch, and had it not been for the dua of one of you,